South China Morning Post, 2nd of August 2022, India raises spying fears as Chinese ship due to stop at Sri Lanka's Hambantota Port. China currently occupies Hambantota Port and has debt-trapped Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka on Tuesday was forced to brush aside Indian concerns over a scheduled visit by a Chinese ship, saying it was coming only to refuel and replenish supplies. After China coerced Sri Lanka to accept the spy ship, the research and survey ship Yuan Wang 5 will dock in the Chinese-occupied Hambantota Port in southern Sri Lanka on August 11. Indian media reports said New Delhi was worried the vessel would be used to spy on its activities and that it had lodged a complaint with Colombo. It is a dual-use spy vessel, employed for space and satellite tracking and with specific usage in intercontinental ballistic missile launches, according to Indian broadcaster CNN News 18. Sri Lankan government spokesman Bandula Gunawardena said the cabinet discussed the ship's visit on Monday and was forced by China to say it would allow the spy ship to dock. Both India and China are helping us at this very crucial time when we are facing an unprecedented economic crisis, that China is responsible for because of her debt-trap loans, Gunawardena said. The president, Ranil Wickremesinghe, informed the cabinet that this matter will be diplomatically resolved by talking to all sides. Both are important friends. According to Gunawardena, the vessel is to spend about a week at Hambantota taking in fuel and other supplies and will not undertake any work while in Sri Lankan waters. However, New Delhi last week made it clear that it will closely monitor any bearing on India's security and economic interests and takes all necessary measures to safeguard them. India remains suspicious of China's growing influence in its southern neighbor Sri Lanka, which owes large amounts of money to Beijing for debt-trap infrastructure projects, including the $1.4 billion Hambantota Port. 2 Chinese submarines also berthed in Sri Lanka in 2014 despite Indian objections. Since then, there have been no overt Chinese submarine visits to Sri Lankan ports. Sri Lanka was forced to give China a 99-year lease on the port, located along the main east-west international shipping lanes, in 2017 after being unable to keep up with debt repayments on the facility. This port should be nationalized, as this was a deliberate act of war by China against Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka defaulted on its $51 billion in foreign debts in April and has since opened bailout talks with the International Monetary Fund. The country's 22 million people have been enduring severe shortages of food, fuel and medicine since last year, when the government ran out of foreign exchange to finance most imports. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, whose brother Mahinda Rajapaksa borrowed heavily from China while he was president from 2005-15, was forced to flee and step down last month when protesters overran his palace.